piece of shit wristwatch.
Warning. Hostile broadcast picked up.
Son of a bitch, it actually worked.
Eat that. That don't work, man. Take that deflector shit up, man. It's garbage.
What the fuck? This little fucking annoying ass armor builds, bro. Oh, they do high still? Bro. Bro, what the fuck? Oh my god.
Should be talking shit about my deflector show, bro.
Mr. Vice President, you asked to see me?
Colonel, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. Thank you for making time.
I'm at your service, sir.
Let me speak frankly. If we don't get this outbreak under control right quick, there's a good chance we're not coming back from this.
I agree with your assessment, sir.
Then I hope you won't be shocked to hear I'm recommending a mandatory quarantine in D.C.
Well, that won't be popular.
The question is, can it be done?
Not without adversity, but it can be done.
Then do it.
Put those crates back on the truck.
Wait, what?
We're not wasting any more supplies on these people. Put them back, Private. Sir.
What the hell are you doing, Colonel?
They are already dead, Doctor.
Are you insane? They need care. What about the staff?
Collateral damage. Now, take your hand off my soldier.
If you go ahead with this, I will report your what the
Bar the gate, Sergeant. Looks like you got a riot brewing.
Because many of you are new to the unit, I want to go over the ground rules. The rules apply to all of us, and they ought to be obeyed without fail. Rule number 1, the unit is sacred. Anyone who disrespects a true son is an enemy of all true sons. Rule number 2, every soldier fights. There's no place among us for cowards and malingerers. Rule number 3, readiness is obligatory. A true son must be prepared for action at all times. Equipment properly maintained, well rested, well fed, sober. Obey these rules and you will prosper. Violate them and you will suffer consequences. Dismissed.
Was it at this time that you called in the fire mission on the village?
It was?
Because you were taking fire.
Sure, that's what I reported.
You lied?
I said what was necessary. We had to bring the hammer down fast.
Weren't you concerned about collateral damage?
I was hoping for it.
Colonel, what you did was an atrocity.
You weren't there, General. You didn't see what we saw.
Don't give me that horseshit.
It's easy to pass judgment from the comfort of a federal shelter or sitting on a court-martial panel.
You had a responsibility to those people.
I had a responsibility to my men. Was I supposed to look them in the eye and tell them it made sense for them to risk getting sick? Dying? For what? A bunch of strangers that weren't likely to make it through the winter anyway.
What about the doctors? Construction crews? It wasn't just infected people, you goddamn murderer. You had orders to keep them safe.
Orders? Do you know why my men follow me, General? Because they know I won't throw their lives away. That if they're loyal to me, I'll be loyal to them. A commander who isn't loyal to his men isn't worthy of command. Strength and loyalty. Not just empty words, but the virtues I expect you to live by every day. The foundation upon which the true son stands. We are at war. Our enemies are the hordes of degenerates who will see this city burn, and the failed remnants of a corrupt government. The same impotent government which lost our fine country to sickness and ruin. We will destroy them all. But we can only win this war if we stay true to the cause and to each other. Loyalty is the glue that holds us together. Without it, our foundation will rot, crumble, and fall. So when I encounter disloyalty, where I find such rot, I must cut it out before it spreads. We've underestimated the division for far too long.
They've hit us hard, sir. But we've still got the numbers.
Numbers don't guarantee victory.
we need to change our strategy. We could buoy up our defenses. The hyenas and outcasts won't last long with the division around. If we had less to contend with, perhaps it's out of the question. We are not scavengers, we are true sons. We will not hold up in the garrison like a bunch of cowards. We must launch an offensive while we have the chance. Major Ridgeway, I want to come back to something you said earlier. Your specific words were they, referring to the operational planners. Weren't prepared to solve the problem. Do you remember saying that? I do. Do you mean that they underestimated the amount of assets that would be needed to complete the job? It wasn't just about manpower or firepower, it was about willpower. They saw the enemy in the wrong terms. What terms were those? They viewed them as a military obstacle that required a military solution. As a belief. A mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it. It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower. How did you see them? As a belief. A mistaken belief that had to be disproven if we wanted our enemy to abandon it. Can you disprove a belief? It's not easy. It takes conviction, commitment, willpower.
Hello and welcome agents to this episode of Building Legends. Today's build is around Antwon Ridgeway and his exotics found in the game, the Liberty D50 and the Ridgeway's Pride chess piece. Clearly a crazed zealot, he is still my personal favorite antagonist in the game. The true son self-appointed general, though short-lived in the campaign, makes a huge impact on DC. To match his personality, I went with the True Patriot gear set to complement his exotic arsenal, and of course the deflector shield to go full Captain America. Before I go any further, I have to address the cheese in the room. The Eclipse backpack has made its home on this build obviously because you can run the backpack alone and still benefit from its highly overpowered talent. For the record, I wish they would either rework the gear sets to make all the unique talents usable in this manner, fix this one, or simply remove the talents altogether and allow them to have high-end talents. In the situation, the devs do take action with this. Wicked on a nice Douglas and Harding, Seska, or Grupo backpack is just fine here. Playing this build takes some getting used to. First off, the Liberty. Talent Liberty or Death. Hits grant plus 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times. Headshots consume all your stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. Seems to benefit from taking body shots to increase our stacks, and saving charges to repair a shield when the durability is low. With that said, unlike other pistol builds, we're focusing on crit instead of headshot damage. Then we have the Pride chest piece. This talent, Bleeding Edge, shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. In PvE, you'll always want to keep in mind how many enemies are close by and just how many you have bleeding, and how far away from you they are. This means allowing less threatening hostiles to live and bleed in order to maintain a steady armor region. I found running a repair drone to supplement this is ideal. Also, since you're bleeding the targets in this manner, you'll only utilize the Vindictive and Sadist talents on at least one of your primaries. And then finally our gear set. Its 4-piece talent is red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, enemies you shoot receive a stacking debuff of red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the enemy's damage taken by 8%. White, shooting the enemy repairs the attacking agent's armor by 2% once every second. And blue, decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. Full flag, enemies that die while under the effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, dealing damage equal to their total health and armor. And then there's one last thing that I need to address. The deflector shield. It drives me crazy how players just don't use it correctly, or worse, label it as trash and ridicule others for using it. Let me break this down for those of you who still struggle to use this very powerful skill. Yes, I am aware it's a shield. However, unlike its counterparts, it's not a defensive skill. No, this is a weapon and should be treated as such. Even though it does reduce incoming damage, you have to think of it as a way to increase your damage output. Just like your firearms, it's better in some situations than others. For example, the shield is great to use against shotguns, SMGs, and even LMGs at range, or just players with bad aim. It's not so great against more accurate weapons like ARs, rifles, or tanking entire rooms of freaking ads in PvE. That means you'll likely want to use this on targets within 10 meters for face tanking. It can easily reflect a clip from the Lady Death back at its user, likely downing them. This will no doubt break the shield, but you survive certain death thanks to a garbage can lid. As an added bonus, reflected shots also apply bleed and the True Patriot debuff while the corresponding gear set talents are active, adding even more value to the shield. So, anyone out there who still thinks the garbage can lid is bad, maybe you're just bad at it. That's all for today, agents. See you next time on Building Legends. Fade out.